Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Kuroko no Basket Season 1. We are on episode 20, and in the last episode, it turns out that we as in Seirin, ended up losing to both Meisei and Senshinkan, because they basically mentally lost it. Or at least Kuroko was not mentally there, so his passes were just not working out. I'm sure it did affect the other team members as well, but mainly it really got Kuroko down. And so yeah, they ended up getting beat to both of them, and now we're out of the Inter-High. So that's great. Completely not what I expected at all. But we did get introduced to a new Seirin member that has been out for what I think is about a year, or at least like, I don't know, maybe like 9 months. So yeah, so a pretty bad injury kept him out, but now he is back. He is apparently the ace, and his position is also center as well. So he wants to do a one-on-one against Kagami for, you know, to basically earn his place, which I respect. I quite like Kiyoshi right now. You know, he's got a good first impression, even though he's a bit weird. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about other than that. We're just basically, you know, going to be training until we get to the Winter Cup. So, you know, there is that. So, yeah, don't think there's anything else to really talk about other than that. So if you do want to go watch the reaction, link is in the description below to the 10-minute version. There's also a link to the full length there as well. If you do want that, then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 20 and see what we get. Without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 20. Really, really good episode. I like that. That was very heavily sort of development for the characters. In particular, obviously, Kuroko. But we also got some from Kagami as well, where we saw him with Hyuga basically saying, like, I'm going to distance myself from Kuroko so that Kuroko can understand, like, you know what I mean, what he needs to do, you know what I mean, in order to sort of get better. They need to hone their skills individually so that when they come together as a team, they're able to, you know, use each other's abilities to the, like, you know, to the best of their ability. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just work in tandem with each other, and get them to where they need to be, to where they can improve. It's really, really, it was just a nice sort of just episode between them two, I think. And also, like, Kiyoshi, he was like the spearhead for this. Like, he allowed this to happen in a way, you know. He came in and opened up the door for this to even be possible. It's weird, like, because in a way he's like he has this air of like what a third year, like he should be like a third year. You know what I mean? Like an honorary third year for Seirin. Because that, he gives that air off him. I mean, I guess that, you know, he is tall and everything like that, but I don't know, like, the way that he sort of handles himself, he's, like, immature at times, but I feel like he does that for, like, I don't know, like, to keep it calm between the team, like, not to make it, like, too serious of a thing that they're doing, but, you know, just keep it light, you know what I mean? Like, very light-hearted, make sure everyone's having fun and stuff. So I feel like he almost does, like, all of that stuff on purpose. You know what I mean? Because I feel like really underneath everything, he's a very mature guy. You know what I mean? And in another universe, he could easily be the captain, you know. But yeah, really, really cool. So I love the fact at the end there when Kuroko and Kagami are talking, that Kuroko gives the real reason why he chose Kagami in the first place, and that it was actually a selfish action by Kuroko for a change, which is something that I didn't expect was the case. So that was really cool to witness, that because Kuroko, it wasn't that, you know, Kuroko left Teiko, and up until this point, like, we knew the fact of, like, really it's because he doesn't really, you know, he doesn't like the fact that they are individuals, and that's, you know, all they care about. His style of basketball is not what he likes, but the fact of, like, he still cares for them, and he's quite sad at the fact that they didn't trust him, that he chose, like, you know, Kagami as just, you know, what could have been anybody, just for his own selfish reasons, to show the like other generation of miracles that yes, you know what I mean, like you should be able to trust me. You know, it's really cool because you know, up until this point, Kuroko, in terms of like who he is as a person, hasn't really been interesting. You know what I mean? That might sound harsh, but like, I mean, there wasn't really anything standing out about Kuroko in the way that he thinks. That all of his interesting sort of, you know, it was his capability on the court up until the point where we reached the deciding point that it's not good enough and that he needs to improve. You know, so it's nice to have like you know, for the character of Kuroko himself, have that he has issues as well, and that he's not just this sort of, you know, like the perfect guy that he is, that, you know, wants team play and everything like that. That even though that's what he does kind of want, there was still that inkling of like selfishness within him regarding Teiko. So it's sort of cool that even he wasn't, you know, he wasn't completely unaffected by that selfishness that Teiko is. So yeah, really cool. But yeah, we really got a good look at Kagami in this as well. You know what I mean? Like even knowing, like, I completely believe him when he says that I knew that all along, kind of thing. I knew that there was something not quite right there, and he was like, this is something that I was always planning to do. And the fact that even when they last talked in the locker room, that Kagami never said anything that was considered what Kuroko said was like a parting words, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't the end of that trust. Kagami said, like what Kagami had said was, you know, this is where we need to evolve, right? We need to improve, and I trust that you're going to do the same, right? I'm going to do what I like, you know, what I know that I can do. You know, I need you to do the same, kind of thing. And it was like just giving him like a spur of the, you know, spurring him on kind of thing. It was just that Kuroko didn't realize what it was back then, and it was due to Kiyoshi and, you know, Hyuga telling him about what Kagami was doing in order for that to actually sink in. So yeah, really cool. So yeah, other than that, we really got some information on Kiyoshi before he got his injury, which was that he was actually really a point guard. So he was in Izuki's position then. And then, you know, noticing that in order to fit the style of play that, you know, considering the players that we did have, it would have been, you know, better to become a center, like, for him, you know what I mean? And then a point guard. So a point guard, yeah, he's the one that sort of dictates the play then. Like, he's the one that leads. It's interesting, like, you have all of these different styles that coincide with each other, because you would think that the captain would be the one to lead, but it seems as though the point guard is the one to, I guess that's why, like, you see them like holding up their, you know, their finger and whatnot when they're I don't know if that, like, as long as he's got his fingers up, that means like this is your time to get in position, and then when he takes down, that's it, like they're all on where they should be, kind of thing. Because I was thinking, you know, like, I don't know if there's any more than that. Like, I don't know, like, could they do that? I don't know. Like, hold that up and do, like, if it means, like, different players. Like, similar to, I don't know, what could be, like American football. I don't know, like, 99% of the rules that American football has. But I do know that when they're when they're about to kick off, in a way, I don't even know the terminology for that, that they, like, say, like, blue 42 or something like that, right? And that's to determine, like, you know, what play they're doing. So I don't know if, like, that's something similar, or if it's just, like, simply, you know, this is, like, our time to get in position, and then whatnot. But yeah, he ended up doing both anyway. Kiyoshi ended up becoming like a point guard center, or I guess what you would consider a center that's just the leader. and then that allowed Izuki obviously to come in as the point guard. But it makes sense him being the point guard anyway, like Izuki, because he's the one that passes the ball like around. He's the one that obviously can see the court because he has that eagle eye and everything like that. You see, this is why I'm not sure on why they're so adamant on like it being Kiyoshi or Kagami, and why you can't just have both. You know, it's like it's a thing of like just depending on what style you play, you can have different people on the court at different times. You don't necessarily just have to, you know, pick out man for man. And I just feel like Kagami's not the leader anyway, and he's a power forward, so it's not like he's taken up that position. It's not like, you know, like for example, in, you know, a different scenario, you wouldn't swap out Hyuga for Kagami because Kagami's not a shooting guard. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like you're switching. It's not like if for whatever reason, it would never happen, but you know, hypothetically, if like Kagami was on the bench and Hyuga was on the court, you wouldn't swap Kagami on so that Kagami's the new shooting guard, because he's not really great at scoring like threes. So you know what I mean? It's not a positional thing. Like, of course, like you can have, I guess, you know, for a different kind of style, you could have Kagami on instead of Hyuga. Like, but then you're not really going to be getting threes, you know. But I think really like Hyuga's probably the one that's got like his position is nailed down. Like, I don't see a case in which Hyuga has to be brought off unless he gets an injury, or if he gives away fouls. But he doesn't seem like that kind of guy to give away that many fouls. Like, he's not the one to attack, you know what I mean? So he's not going to be drawing any fouls. So really, I feel like Hyuga's the one that's like his position. Like, he's the one that's not going to be taken off, you know, for anybody else. So his is like kind of nailed down, and he's the captain. So generally, you want your captain on for the whole match if you can help it, you know. Because yeah, I mean the leadership of obviously a captain. But yeah, that's what I thought was interesting, is that the point guard generally can be considered something like a leader, you know. But I feel like due to Kiyoshi's build and everything like that, it would make sense for him to be a center anyway. And with, you know, Izuki's eagle eye, I kind of just want him on the court as well. I might be giving a bit too much. It might be a bit harsh, I suppose, to just say that I guess Mitobe, out of everyone on the court, I suppose, as who's considered a starter, that maybe it would be him that would be swapped out for Kiyoshi. I don't want to say that. It's just that from what I've seen, I mean, he's the defensive one, right? But I feel like Kiyoshi can be that as well. Although they did say that the center is the one that actually ends up coming like below the net, in an attacking sense. So therefore, if anything happens on a counter attack, that means there's nobody back there, is there, to defend. So yeah, I mean, maybe you wouldn't want to swap him out with Mitobe. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Like, I just feel like having Kiyoshi and Kagami on at the same time would be great. But then it would only be that good if you have them two connect as well. Because they said that Kiyoshi and Hyuga were actually like really like connecting with each other, like similar to, you know, Kagami and Kuroko. Like, they were starting to become like really like in tune with each other. And you know, like if you could get like Kiyoshi and Kagami to do that, I don't know. But then again, you can have another sort of style where if you bring on Kiyoshi for Kagami, then you have Kuroko and Kiyoshi play together. That also changes it up enough to probably throw off the opposition as well. So yeah, this is going to be interesting when they get the competitive games again with Kiyoshi involved. And I'm excited to see what happens with that. So yeah, I mean, they had the one-on-one match anyway, Kiyoshi and Kagami, and then the turn of sort of pace that Kiyoshi had was too slow. After the whole thing, it turns out that he was wearing indoor shoes. He wasn't actually wearing any trainers or anything like that, you know, would obviously help him with the grip and turning. at speed. But yeah, Kagami's shot was insane. It felt like he was already in the air, and he managed to move forward and around. You know, it was crazy. It looked really cool though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Kiyoshi's like actually really good. You had the Generation of Miracles that were actually giving him praise, and the fact that he was in the magazine as well, the monthly basketball magazine, which you know, is it Kasamatsu? I think it is, isn't it? He was in there as well. You know, so he's still really, really, really good players. But yeah, I don't know. It's only been 2 episodes, and I really like Kiyoshi. I really like him. Like, he's got this sort of air about him. Like, we talked about it like a little bit before, but yeah, like how he's like he's light-hearted, and he's like very it's almost like he's like acting a bit stupid at times, but I feel like he does do that on purpose. But I like the idea that like what you think on the surface, like as soon as he says something, you know, like obviously setting up a match where all the first years are playing, and that was obviously Kiyoshi's by Kiyoshi's admission. He basically wanted Kuroko to figure it out, where before he even said that, you would be thinking, why would he want this to happen? And you would probably be thinking what Kogane said, that he wanted. He was thinking that they were going to lose because they were all the first years, and that would show that, you know, Kagami can't do this alone, kind of thing. You would probably be thinking that that's what Kiyoshi was thinking, but it wasn't. Kiyoshi was thinking about Kuroko, and it's interesting that Kiyoshi is the one that can actually pick up on that. That Kuroko is actually more the one that you would be considered the Generation of Miracles, and not Kagami. He's the only one that actually picks up on that, and the fact that he wouldn't have known Kuroko either. Just like the opposite, Kuroko hadn't joined at that point. That's what Midorima was saying. So it's interesting that even though Kiyoshi had no idea about that, he was the one that was able to pick up on that. So he's there. Yeah, he's sort of, he's quite smart. He picks up on things that you know, the others won't. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Kuroko needs to abandon his style and basically understand his limits. So yeah, that's really cool. I just like the fact that Kuroko now is just like, it's not about making Kagami the best in Japan by, you know, Kuroko basically saying that he's limiting himself by doing that. Now it's a case of, no, we're just going to make, like, we're going to all become the best in Japan here, you know. So yeah, really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. Very, very cool though. So I'm really, really excited to see what the next bunch of episodes brings. I would like to see the Inter High. I don't know if we're going to though. You know what I mean? I said this in episodes previous where I would love to see teams that we've come up against go up against each other and just see how they fight with each other, especially the Generation of Miracles. I would love to see that. For instance, well, Kisei's through, isn't he? So Kaijo versus To, and see how that goes. I think I've said before, I don't think Kisei can copy the other Generation of Miracles though, can he? So, you know, but it'll just be interesting just to see like different teams go up against each other. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But if you do want to get access to episode 21 and 22 right now, you can do by becoming an early access tier patron over on my Patreon. Link is in the description. That's for $5 a month. It gives you access to shows a week early. There's also the full length if you want to see any of the reactions in full and not just the 10-minute version. And then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to movie reactions and things like that when I start reacting to movies. There's also a link to the Discord in the description as well, so if you want to go there, then you can do. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.